If you spent any amount of time in the crypto space, then you've no doubt seen the limitless potential that this technology has to revolutionize every single aspect of our online lives. And as the space has quieted down since the beginning of 2022, lots of people are sitting there scratching their heads going like, hey, what are some of the next big innovations in the crypto space? Actual use cases for blockchain technology that can attract the next wave of crypto users. Well, the seeds for these next big trends could be here right now. And in this video, I want to talk about a major use case for crypto and Web 3.0 that's brewing underneath the surface and some projects that you need to pay attention to. So I'm going to talk about all this as a blockchain developer who works with this technology on a daily basis. So if you're new around here, hey, I'm Gregory, and on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something that you're interested in, then smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to learn how to master blockchain step-by-step from start to finish, then head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp to get started today. All right, so let's get into this major use case that could attract lots of new people into the crypto space. I'm talking normal, everyday people who don't even use crypto right now, who may not have even heard of it. So let's talk about how that could happen. Well, number one, if people are going to use crypto, they need to have a reason to do it in the first place. One of the biggest reasons people buy crypto right now is because the price is supposed to go. It's supposed to make them money. And whenever, crypto stops doing that, they don't care anymore. But let's talk about some actual applications that could cause people to, jump into the space, because in that you have to have that clear value proposition. So what is it? Well, right now, most people understand that they're earning basically no interest on their money that's deposited into a bank account. It's going to be like, less than 1% for most people. Okay. Again, I know that the interests have gone up a little bit this year with tightening monetary policy. Okay. But for most people, they realize it's an abysmal amount. So, what if you could tell people, hey, just go download this app, follow a few setup steps, and you can earn more interest on your money than you could in your bank. That's like a no-brainer for a lot of people. Okay. So, that might make some light bulbs go off in your head and say, hey, that sounds suspiciously like, yield farming inside the crypto and DeFi space. It definitely is. They might even have some PTSD, with some rug pulls in DeFi, or like the Terra Luna disaster that happened. Okay, say, hey, that's not safe for anybody to participate in, and it's totally unsustainable, right? So I'm actually talking about in this video how there could be a path forward to having sustainable yield that is safer for most people over the long term, and how this could be a game changer with blockchain technology over time. All right, so let's first start off with talking about DeFi and yield farming, okay? So again, I was talking about a minute ago, yield farming essentially is where you have, a MetaMask wallet or some sort of crypto wallet and some cryptocurrency, and you're going to applications trying to find the highest yield, okay? So an application like Aave, for example, it's a Dapp. It's powered by smart contracts in the blockchain. It's a savings and lending application. You can earn, interest. It works like a bank. You can earn interest on your funds here, and then you take out loans on the other side, and you can get incentivized for doing this by earning, passive income. And some applications actually have bonus tokens, which you can earn on top of that. Okay. And so, lots of people are moving in between applications, trying to find the best yield at any given time. Yields tend to go up and down based on different, factors. Okay. So, like I said before, there's lots of criticisms in DeFi. Number one, we've seen rug pulls. Number two, we've seen just massive blowups from things like the Terra Luna stablecoin. But even if you take all those things out of the equation, let's say you fix them, a lot of DeFi yields are unsustainable in the sense of, they're really subject to market forces of supply and demand for whatever that given market is. But also the other big thing is many of the yield farming rewards are paid out in a brand new token that's different from the one you deposit themselves. And so sometimes, these market caps get diluted so fast, or many people pile into the pool, that these yields really just dry up and they don't last very long. And that's one of the reasons that people have to jump from pool to pool to keep getting high yield. And so that's definitely not going to work for everyday people. But what are some things that actually could, build off this model and work and be a game changer for crypto? Well, there's a number of different applications out there that are providing yield to users that don't work with these same supply and demand based factors, and don't work with, new token emissions that are subject to dilution quite the same way that many of sort of the Ponzi yield, schemes work now. Okay. So I'm going to borrow a term here called real yield, which I first heard, over on Crypto Banter. So, full credit for where that term came from. I don't know if they created it, but that's the first place I heard it. So I just give full credit here. But basically, real yield is classified as yields derived from generation of real revenue as opposed to revenue derived from token emissions, okay? So essentially, instead of having a yield farm where you pay out this brand new token that might go to zero or all, right? You can actually earn, fees or yield from activity with the application itself. So an example might be if a protocol is used and there are fees paid to that protocol, then you could have, fees paid out to the token holders themselves. And so that's one example. There are other examples of applications that earn yield in different ways. But let's go ahead and look at a couple examples of that. So the first application that could be a big player on this in the future is DYDX. Okay, so that is a decentralized exchange, and you can't really hold the DYDX token right now to earn yield from the trading fees, but that is a major plan for the V4 model. That's actually the whole idea that's supposed to launch late in 2022. So the whole idea is they're going to fully decentralize their protocol, and it will be governed by token holders, and the token holders themselves will actually be able to get yield from holding that token itself. So another application is GMX. Okay, so this is another protocol that powers decentralized exchanges. And if you take the GMX tokens and you stake them, then you can get 30% of all the platform fees actually paid out in ETH. So, hey, who doesn't want some ETH for doing that type of thing? And another project that's been around for quite some time and is actually a massive OG in the DeFi space is Synthetics. So with the SNX token, all right, you're able to stake your Synthetics tokens and then earn fees that are generated by the protocol whenever synths are minted and burned. Okay, so there's all kinds of different ways that you can earn it. Basically, the whole idea here, there's an application that charges fees to the end user in some way, whether it's to trade, whether it's to mint tokens, whether it's to borrow, lend, whatever. Anytime a transaction happens that charges a fee, that fee is going to go to the protocols themselves. But in many cases, it's the token holders that either they just have to hold the token or they stake it or they participate in governance in some way, whatever it is, they're able to get paid with the protocol and earn yield that way, not from some just like new token that gets paid out that gets instantly diluted and you have to keep like chasing new yields. And this could be a path for sustainability in the future. And in addition to these DeFi applications, which pay out, fees to the people who hold the tokens, Ethereum is about to undergo the merge or the upgraded proof of stake. Okay. And after the merge, you're going to be able to stake ETH on the network and actually earn a passive income reward. And this isn't the type of situation where you're just going to have instantly diluted, tokens where that actually negatively impacts the price of the token. Now, ETH's actually going to be deflationary after the merge, assuming that the network activity stays the same, which I actually expect to increase over time. So, this is a big deal because this is likely going to cause lots of big players to hold ETH in order to run validators. I mean, we're already starting to see this business model that I'm talking about for, people to go stake their Ether on a website like, Binance or Coinbase, for example. They're already essentially offering the service that I'm talking about where normal users don't even have to know about crypto and they can deposit, into this and then earn a yield where somebody else is helping them get that long term. So ETH is another example of a blockchain, and really any other proof of stake blockchain or delegated proof of stake blockchain is going to have this type of feature built in where the yield doesn't dry up based upon some token dilution or something like that long term. All right, so now let's talk about how this particular use case could be a game changer to attract more people into the crypto space over time. Okay, really we're talking about the next wave of banking applications, all right, which is way bigger than crypto. So there's many cases where people don't even have to know that they're using crypto in order to get this benefit. So let's talk about a potential evolution getting to that point. So right now, one of the easiest ways people to participate in this type of thing is a frictionless way is where you could download a mobile wallet like Argent, for example. So the use case here essentially is just like, download this app on your phone. Okay. Just click a few setup steps. If you've already got Apple Pay or Android Pay on your device, integrate with your card, you can click a button, deposit money, and then that could hook into DeFi on the back end and boom, you're instantly earning passive income, inside that application itself with a few clicks of a button in a very small amount of time. You have to go buy cryptocurrency in exchange, send it to a self-custody wallet, and click a bunch of MetaMask, buttons on a site, and then earn yield that way. You could just do it all from a mobile app without having to touch all that extra stuff. Okay, so I realize that that's not like what everybody's grandmother is going to do. So what's the path forward for sort of like the grandmother approach? Okay. So really, this just looks like online banking 2.0, in my opinion, where people don't even have to know that they're using crypto in order to get this benefit, okay? Most people are already used to doing online banking, but there is definitely a potential future where crypto really gets integrated with either existing online banks right now that you already use, or you essentially, the major exchanges right now become more reputable and become like, new online banks that people are used to, or some sort of hybrid approach to these two things, where you could essentially have an online banking interface where either some of the funds or all the funds are held in a stable coin, okay, or are backed by a stable coin. That stable coin could be used to earn yield in the ecosystems that I'm talking about, where, you're getting a competitive interest rate on your funds that you've deposited, but then like somebody else is actually doing the work for you of earning yield in a stable fashion. Now, again, I know that's going to have a bunch of red flags in people's minds, like, the Celsius disaster that happened earlier this year. Okay, I've seen lots of, centralized lending platforms basically do this and go insolvent and go bust. But I do think there is a path forward sustainability if you can, number one, have sustainable places where people can earn yield, which I've outlined some of those in this video, which I think can increase over time. And then number two, have a reputable, trusted way for someone to actually do that for you and then essentially earn, a spread where you can still get a competitive interest rate on the funds that you deposited, but they can still earn money for doing it for you, where you don't even have to touch the crypto part or know that you're using crypto behind the scenes. And that right there could be the next implementation path forward to attract the next, who knows, billion plus users into the crypto space who don't use crypto now, may not have ever even heard of it and don't even necessarily need to know about it in order for this type of use case to actually work. So I hope you like this video. As always, smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. That really helps these videos out so the more people learn about blockchain. And if you're as fast with technology as I am, you want to get your hands dirty, how can you get started today? You can go to my YouTube homepage. You can find my free courses there. They're like Udemy courses, but they're totally free. Just put out a brand new one there on a Solidity, about how to code Solidity in 4 hours. If you like that video, you want to take the next step, or hey, maybe you want to take a master shortcut entirely, I should have mastered blockchain step-by-step start to finish over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. You just be an expert to get started today. I've helped people with zero coding experience become real-world blockchain developers in a matter of months. So that's all I've got. And until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.